Y'all thought we was dead. Y'all thought we was canceled. And I want to say one thing. Fuck you, Larry! We aren't canceled!
Wait,
At least
who's
not
Larry?
yet, anyway. However, if you guys want
He's a
to
lawyer.
see everything when we're around the round table with all the cast members, just donate $1. Get at least $100 to Britt's Patreon in the description below. You guys will be able to get an artist description of this because I is Poe. I don't want to have Aaron spend any money and everyone else is on business. So if we get 100 people to donate $1, you guys get to have a beautiful artistic piece. Can we achieve that? Probably not.
Or 200 people donate 50 cents.
Ooh.
Now that we could accomplish.
Just for 50 cents, you can save these starving children here of this podcast.
Or 2,000 people to donate a penny.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
See? A penny. It's that
We're
simple.
gonna frickin' break all the rules here.
2,000.
solve the world's
one
problems.
penny. Let's do this for Britt's Patreon.
Woo!
That way, if you guys want to see what the round table looks like, including all the tentacles on the floor, then we got you.
As long as there ain't nothing going up my butt, I'm okay.
No, that's just all your beer cans, dude.
I don't sit on them. I crush them with my feet. Like
You don't
Conan.
need a head for that. Crush them on your head. Oh god, alright.
In any case, though, you guys know the drill. It's time for intro.
Growing up and growing old, don't you feel the time moving forward every morning when we rise? If only we could make it right before the sun says goodnight.
Welcome back, everyone, to What Grinds Our Gears, the podcast. The podcast owned by, ran by, and hosted by only family members and our cousins. I think we have cousins coming on the show at some point, but we have no idea yet. Anyway, you guys know me. It's V. It's been a hot minute, and I'm high off coffee and caffeine because Clancy decided to bring pancakes in this morning because he was like, oh my god, my favorite people are back. And I'm like, Clancy, get off me. You weigh 250 pounds, man. I'm sorry, my wife is pregnant and I'm putting on the weight for her. Damn it, Clancy! Anywho.
Not to mention, Clancy's only like 4'11". Just so everybody knows. He's like a little cannonball.
He's such
Yeah, I really hate him. He likes to take up my locker space all the time.
Right?
Well,
Anyway.
didn't you tell him to stop sleeping in your locker?
Well, I did, but he decided, I'm going to throw in the rest of my blankets and sheets in there. I got to do laundry too.
Guys,
You know, how the wife kicked
enough
me out
about
again.
Clancy!
I hate Clancy.
Enough about Clancy, okay? On the right side of the table with a bunch of random drawing... Wait, Britt, why is this person being set on fire?
Well, someone requested that they needed a new fetish kick, and that was the only thing I could come up with.
Okay. Well,
You
on the
have
right
painful
side...
thoughts.
On the right side of the table, drawing a bunch of new fetish artwork, it is our sister Britt from Brittopia, the RPG queen herself. Britt, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Kinda. Mostly. Yeah, we'll stick with that one.
Okay. Well, if you guys haven't gotten that update from her, she just finished, quote-unquote, finished, because are you ever finished? With Devil May Cry 5 on Twitch, twitch.tv/Brittopia, on the description below, and a bunch of other stuff that she's got in the works right now. And on the left side of the round table with, I think, a Taj Mahal made out of beer cans. Impressive, sir. I salute
Not
you.
yet. It's not complete.
God damn it.
I gotta do the paintings.
Okay.
You
But
told
anyway.
me about the paintings.
We all know this man. He has no need for an introduction for all the avatars that he has for himself. One of them being Andy Dufresne, another one being Ryan Reynolds, and another one being Hugh Jackman. But we all know this man simply as the god among men, the handsomest upon handsomest, the Hubs of all glory. Hubs himself. Hubs, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, especially with those intros you keep giving me. Shit, I feel like a god.
And for a little update for you guys, Hubs and the wife are right now doing Kingdom Hearts 3. That's right, they're doing what every single person does, play the dumpster fire. So if you guys want to see more of that stuff, go to twitch.tv/Selfina1 in the description below.
Not only that, we're doing 7 Days to Die intermittently, whenever Jenny feels like it.
Someone's always wearing shorts in the cold, and I'm like, God damn, someone's gonna have frozen crotches.
It's usually us in Wisconsin.
Anywho, we have only one planned topic, but we're going to wait for that one. Right now, it's time for us to return to our original segment from back in the old days of the random segments.
Woo!
So, random, guys, I actually finally saw Captain Marvel.
Did you?
It sucked.
See, you're not the first person I've heard that from, but I've also heard the other opinions.
Now, it's not that it was made terribly or that it was written off. Here's the thing. It's made as a prequel to stuff that we already know, so the tension is gone. Like, we already know Nick Fury exists in the continuity and the canon of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, right? Like, he recruited Iron Man, he recruited all the Avengers that we know today. But he's set as a young person with a young Coulson and a super young Captain Marvel who we already know is going to be appearing in Endgame. So, where is the tension in the film? Where is the drive to care in the film?
I think it's... Okay, so I have a few takes on this from different perspectives because I haven't seen it yet. I've only heard about it and heard other people's opinions about it. Mm-hmm. And from everything that I have heard so far, I could formulate an idea as to what is going on here. So the movie takes place in the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. They've been dropping hints about the new Avengers movie involving time travel. And if Captain Marvel existed in the 90s, why isn't she in any of the other movies? And blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
right?
They explained that in the film about where she's been. It's a stupid reason, but a reason.
She's not on Earth, right? She's elsewhere.
Nope. Yeah, she's traveling the cosmos with,
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Wow, they still have to explain to me how the Kree went from blue to gold to blue again.
Do you want to know the reason?
In Guardians of the Galaxy, the Kree are portrayed as gold people.
Do you really want to know the reason?
Yes, I do. I want to know the reason.
The reason is budgeting.
Budgeting? I'm confused.
You know how expensive it is to do CGI and special effects of that quality, sir?
Well, I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. set up the Kree as blue before Guardians of the Galaxy ever came out.
Yes, but that's a TV budget.
But it was still part of the MCU.
Correct. But just like how Daredevil was canceled for no good reason, why should we expect anything about
we
how
know
cold?
Why. We've already
we know
that.
Why. We just know it makes no fucking sense.
But then in Guardians of the Galaxy, they're golden and fly sperm mobiles in outer space.
Correct.
And then in Captain Marvel, they're blue again.
Kind of.
Recolors.
Well, they have blue blood.
Yeah, they have blue blood, but they're just looking more human. And then some are blue.
Even in the comic books, they're human. They're like blonde-haired, blue-eyed humans, like the perfect fucking, ideological Aryan race, right?
Sort of. Like that's pretty much what Hitler had a wet dream about when he would touch himself with his tiny hands.
And then they create the Inhumans, which were basically humans infused with Kree DNA, which is basically what Captain Marvel is. Am I wrong?
Sort of.
Because Captain Marvel, the original Captain Marvel, is Kree.
She's Kree, but Carol is half human, half Kree, but got her powers from an accelerator core that in the original continuity she didn't know who she was in the comics until one day she knew both her sides and then took up the name Captain Marvel from her mentor Marvel.
Right.
Because that makes sense.
Okay. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. I think part of this film is to finally bring an actual female lead protagonist to an MCU movie role on her own, not being Black Widow.
Yeah, because they're still working on her movie.
I don't think it's ever going to come out. I don't think that they could justify it.
2020.
Well, no. they could justify it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it's going to do as well as they're hoping.
Oh, it's definitely not.
It's going to be the next Halle Berry's Catwoman, I
Halle
feel.
Berry.
They're going to rush it so bad that it's going to end up just like that.
I love Scarlett Johansson. I love the Black Widow character, but I don't see a solo movie doing well for her.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
I mean, she's already was in Ghosts in a Shell, or Ghosts in a Shell.
And me and V talked about that.
And
so the outrage over a white woman playing an Asian, technically not Asian because she's a robot.
Yeah, it's like, guys, she's cyberganic. Where's the race?
Well, not only that, but it takes place in all over. It's not
Neo
even
Tokyo, basically.
It's not even just Neo Tokyo, though. It's like the later iterations are everywhere, and it's so far in the future that
race is
I
obsolete.
imagine we're all one race at this point, even though human is one race. Anyway. I think Marvel was kind of trying to ride on the coattails of Black Panther, being that, Black Panther did extremely well for what it was. And I still heard some complaints about, I just hate how political Black Panther made. I'm like, it wasn't political. Dude, the character was literally made because of racial injustice back in the 60s.
Yeah,
that
where
was
it's
the
like...
reason Panther was made in the first place in the comics. So, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of the...
tension.
But it was a good movie nonetheless. It was a great movie nonetheless. Regardless of...
It made me happy to go in the movie theater until I heard a bunch of other people just yelling in the background. I'm like, can y'all motherfuckers shut up?
But I think that's what they're kind of trying to ride the coattails of, but with a female protagonist.
Oh, yeah. The LGBTQ plus community loves Carol Danvers. I'm just like, you guys know she's like a 5 or 6 at best, right? Like
That's the only one they got, V. You can't take it away from them.
Like, Brie Larson is cute, but she's not fine cute.
That was the other complaint that I heard. That the movie was good, but some people just didn't like her as in that role. Like, they thought they could have found somebody better to play her.
They needed someone super thick, basically.
But, I'm not judgmental like that. I don't care as long as the movie's good. Like, if she did really poorly in that role, like her acting was just terrible or whatever, then okay, I might have some complaints, but I haven't seen the movie, so I can't make that justification.
Same.
I mean, for me, Brie Larson is cute. She's just not that fine cute, like that one thickness that was in a One Piece type cute. Like, she wasn't Elastigirl in The Incredibles 2, you dig?
But I'm not even looking at that. I don't care what she looks like.
No, that's what the guys are focused on, Aaron. We're both guys. We gotta just be blunt for, like, the male viewers. She's cute, but she isn't fine cute.
You're right. And Scarlett Johansson is fucking, she's hot, but she knows how to do a fucking kick. It's not like she's out there going, and just totally fucking mailing it in. Her move when she's in a scene fighting or shooting her gun, which everybody's making fun of her for in the Endgame trailer. Why are you shooting your guns? We're gonna have Captain Marvel and fucking Vision back. It's done. Anyways, what I'm getting at is, Scarlett Johansson, she fits your stereotypical male whatever, but she can also act. She does the role well. You know what I mean? It'd be like if instead of Sigourney Weaver for Aliens, the iconic Ripley role, they got Meg Ryan.
Ew.
Yeah, could you picture that?
I just imagine a bunch of people being like, what the fuck is this?
It would have never gone anywhere. And now, let me put this even more into perspective. Meg Ryan is much, much better looking than Sigourney Weaver, in my opinion. However, and Meg Ryan's a great actress. I'm not taking any of that away from her. Courage Under Fire is probably one of her greatest fucking films. But Sigourney Weaver nailed that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And if you could picture Meg Ryan in a Sigourney Weaver role like Aliens, there's just no way. Just no way. So that's my point of where I don't care what they look like. If they can play that role, if they can do that role, then I'm fine. I'm good.
Oh, she can play the role of Carol, because Carol is kind of a dumbass when she first starts.
Really?
She is, from all the stuff I remember before I set all my comics on fire after reading about Carol being raped by an alien and then giving birth to that same alien that raped her, who then wanted to marry her, and then years later coming back to being like, why did you idiots let me go off with my rapist?
And then people wonder why kids read comic books.
Yeah, right.
I'll tell you why kids read comic books, because I was one of those kids. It's because for all that shit we were being censored from on TV growing up, we could find it in our comic books, and our parents didn't fucking care. Because they didn't know.
And also, Carol Danvers is one of the former girlfriends of Spider-Man, Peter Parker Spider-Man to be exact, because everybody fucked Peter.
So my extent with Captain Marvel goes basically through the X-Men storyline, because that was my main comic growing up. I didn't read much of the other ones. I have some, but I just didn't get into it as much as I did as X-Men and Wolverine.
Yeah,
so,
but that was
what many people might not know is that Carol Danvers is basically the reason we have Rogue as a badass superhero in the X-Men, not cinematic universe, because they made her out to be weak. But in the comic book universe, Rogue is badass. She is basically Captain Marvel light. She just can't shoot lasers out of her fucking fists.
Not until that one weird series in the X-Men comics years later where she masters her powers during a Kree invasion and she can use multiple powers at the same time that she's taken over the years. And so much weirdness I don't want to get into. But
Captain Marvel was the first. She was, aside from the boyfriend that she almost killed in her origin story, Captain Marvel was the first mutant.
Yeah, that she touched for a really long time, where when I say this to nerds, they're like, I would have touched Carol Danvers for a long time.
It almost killed Marvel. Captain Marvel was almost ended by Rogue. Yeah. And the way they play it in the comic books is Captain Marvel is basically Rogue's mother. She's not biologically, but mutant-wise.
Yeah, because of the whole powers thing.
And Rogue in the comics is much more badass than she ever was in the films. Not that Anna Paquin did a bad job. They just didn't use her to her full potential.
But if they did, then it would just be like, oh no, we're in trouble. Who could save us?
Here comes Rogue flying in. Well, that's the other thing. She didn't completely learn how to master her flight for a very long time. That's something that they could have, kind of like Jessica Jones, still doesn't have a mastery over her flight power. It took Rogue a long time. And Wolverine wasn't even her mentor. Wolverine was Jubilee's mentor.
Well, he was kind of both of their mentors. It's weird.
Well, okay. So Wolverine and Rogue were a thing until, she got old enough and gained confidence enough to do things on her own and help the team and this and that without being afraid of accidentally touching somebody.
That's
right?
True. And then Jubilee happened, and it's like...
And then Jubilee was the young girl coming up, and Wolverine's like, a new daughter.
Before X-23 happened, and then...
Right. Which both of those characters... Well, actually, all three of those characters, he did the same mentorship for. He basically said, look, you're not always going to get it right. You just got to do your best. Yeah, people are going to die. That's our job. Save as many as you can. Wolverine was pretty blunt about all of it, but that's my extent with Captain Marvel in my universe is the whole X-Men storyline.
I mostly remember because every issue I found of her before her redesign was her in that one piece and the sash, and I'm just like, lady!
With the lightning bolt?
Yes, I'm like, lady! Can I get your number?
So question for you, V.
Yes.
Any comic book fan worth their clout, and I'm going to ask you this before I actually make a statement, because in the original Secret Wars,
yes, with
the Skrulls, and after the Skrulls took over and became the Avengers, at one point every Avenger was a Skrull.
Well, it happened multiple times, but sure.
Right. So after the Secret Wars, after the Skrull invasion and all of this stuff, if I remember correctly, up until almost, I can't say recently, but maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I thought one of the Avengers was still revealed to be a Skrull. Just one. And I thought it was Captain America, or one of the prominent members, had hidden that long.
It might have been. You gotta remember, Aaron, I haven't touched...
It could be longer than 15 years ago. I might be thinking of a way, way back, like the original Skrull invasion. But I thought one had stayed to like the point where nobody even questioned if he was a Skrull or not, because he'd been there so long.
Yeah.
Or I thought I remembered a storyline like that, and I wanted to ask you if you thought maybe they were going to try and touch on that in the next maybe phase 4, because they brought up the Skrulls and Captain Marvel.
Oh, so a little bit about that from the movie. You know how in the comics the Skrull are the villains and the Kree are heroes?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like, that's the basic lie that Marvel wants to tell us. The MCU makes the Skrull the sympathetic heroes.
Kind of like Thanos.
And the Kree are actually oppressive tyrants that are trying to enslave the galaxy.
But that's what the Kree end up as in the comic books anyways.
Yeah, but this time they're just pointing out that the Skrull are hunted damn near to almost starvation and extinction off the bat. And it's
well,
like...
they kind of deserved it.
I guess if you put it that way.
I mean,
any race that can literally change its form and has like Hulk strength.
I mean,
playing devil's advocate here.
If we're going that route, sure. But so far, the only difference is Carol is trying to be a ally to the Skrull over the Kree, even damn near killing her mentor and saying that she's going to go to the Hala planet, aka the Kree homeworld, to end the war personally, which means a lot of Kree are dead.
Now remember, Marvel is also the comic book. They pulled a Prometheus before Prometheus pulled a Prometheus in the films. The whole reason the Kree created the Inhumans was to wipe out the humans.
Yeah.
They pulled a whole Ridley Scott there with Prometheus to create a whole new race just to kill another race that they didn't think was worthy of their time. Just so you know.
I know, and that's...
Oh, not to mention, they did the exact same thing by using the human DNA to create this new race, in which the Inhumans actually became more powerful than the Kree. Like, that's a common thread throughout Marvel Comics also, is that the human condition tends to win out.
And overall, this whole talk, Britt is just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm learning so much.
I always do in these cast.
Hey, we're nerding out right now, and I really don't care.
I mean, I don't mind being a little bit of a nerd from all the stuff I have read.
My nerd brain is showing.
And all the stuff I don't remember anymore because it's been years ever since the stupid One More Day comic. I'm still salty because I remember even setting fire to comics personally signed by Stan Lee of its stupid issue.
By the way, because you texted me before, Highwaymen so far is fucking awesome.
Yo, I want to see that film ever since I saw the... Okay, so for those of you guys that do not know, The Highwaymen is a new Netflix film centered around the two people that were trying to apprehend and or put down Bonnie and Clyde after...
Oh no, they were responsible for, and that was their goal, was to kill them.
I was trying to lead them in, Aaron. Why? Why would you ruin it?
You can find this on any Wikipedia page. I'm not ruining anything. This is history. This actually happened.
However, In tandem to there is indeed a mini-series focused around Bonnie and Clyde from a different perspective on Netflix as well.
Is there? Which one is that? What's that called?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Is it?
Yes.
I'll have to look at it.
It was made by A&E, and when I saw this film, I was like, didn't I already see a mini-series that was trying to humanize Bonnie and Clyde a lot more in this whole thing from their own perspective? Like, beforehand, they were just robbing banks to just rob banks in a recession.
Yes.
So it's like, okay,
that's why they were viewed as basically modern-day Robin Hoods.
And then after... Well, from the mini-series, they're trying to say that the first murder was an accident that just became this huge fetish thing for like Bonnie to fuck Clyde. And I'm like, dude, if she's doing all this to get wet, she's probably not into you.
And what most people don't realize is that Bonnie was very intelligent. She did very well in school.
And she was still married when she was with Clyde.
So that story is a grim tale of what happens when the poor, because back then everybody was poor at this time. This is 1933, 1932. Just before the fucking Great Recession, the Great Depression.
Yes.
Just either just after or even during the Dust Bowl. There are people literally selling their children to keep their homes. This is not a joke. This actually happened. And it's a perfect example of what happens when you start out thinking you're trying to do something noble to get better or to help somebody or to maybe help many even. And then something happens and you find out something new about yourself. Like, holy shit, that felt good, even though it's wrong. And not only that, but now they have the money to spend on keeping that fetish alive.
Well, it was mostly Clyde doing it because he was trying to bang a married woman that never got a divorce.
Oh no. Bonnie was totally into it.
Oh no, she was into it, but she never got that divorce. She was still married to that guy that she was married to before Clyde swooped her up off her feet. She was legally married to another man, going around the country with Clyde, fucking him day and night, doing all this stuff. Getting her fetish off. I don't know when she would have found the time
to get a divorce, V. She was kind of breaking the law and murdering cops.
Yeah, but I feel like the husband would be like, I don't want any part of this. Please sign these papers.
When? They didn't have, cell phones.
Maybe she sent him money or something.
And
here you go, sweetie. Don't get the divorce. See you next time.
As far as I know, once Clyde picked her up, that was it. This was a whirlwind romance of murder, death, and money.
But she was able to come home sometimes.
To her mother.
Yes, who could have gotten the papers.
Are you kidding me right now? You're fucking. She's robbing banks and murdering cops, and you're pissed off because she didn't get a divorce? She probably got off on the fact that I'm married. This is against the law and a sin.
Lord have mercy. I can imagine it.
I seriously don't think they were worried about it.
I don't know. I feel this way.
No, Bonnie and Clyde were married. Bonnie was married to someone else.
I don't know, Aaron. I feel like for all three of us actually being married people, that just kind of irks me a little bit.
Dude, I have seen Stranger Things, okay?
I've seen Stranger Things too. I'm waiting for season 3. That's not the point here.
For me too.
Anyways, Bonnie and Clyde is pretty... Okay, have you ever seen Natural Born Killers?
Yeah.
That's Bonnie and Clyde. The original Bonnie and Clyde. They're fucking... the only thing they cared about. Oh, and not to mention... I'm sorry, I just cut off my own thought because another thought poured in. J. Edgar Hoover created the FBI at this time.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of people, especially law enforcement people, very leery and pissed off at the government. How can you afford to fly planes over to watch us, but you can't afford to feed us? So...
I'm the government. I'm the
Bonnie
reason nothing works.
The government works extremely well. The government itself works extremely well. It's when it comes to giving out or helping others But the government goes, I'm not so great at that. It's not but the football. I don't even know. I usually kick the ball with the football. Why am I catching it?
Hey, what is this? Oh, I break it the door.
Oh, wait a minute. You want money because you can't afford the food?
Grow your own
You
food.
spent it all on this toilet handle. I have nothing to give. What? There's like a whole fund set aside for them? Are we gonna make a cut to that soon? No, they're standing right here. I'm sorry, we have nothing to give. Seriously? Here's $500. Go get some fucking food. Or put it in the military. Put it in the fucking defense fund.
See, we have no money.
Put the money.
You had the $500. Grow your own food.
I don't know why I was trying to do a really terrible Italian accent, but...
Oh, you're just doing, Mickey Hargitay.
Mariska Hargitay?
No, her dad, Mickey Hargitay.
Sorry.
Jane Mansfield's first famous husband. Which reminds me, that was the stupidest thing I learned thanks to Mystery Science Theater 3000, that Mickey Hargitay was in The Lovers of Hercules, a shitty B movie that, when you also know mythology, is a little sad.
I'll be right
Only
back.
if you think about it.
Like Britt, here's a mythology lesson. Do you know what the name Deianira means?
No.
Husband killer.
What a nice name.
That was Hercules' final mortal wife before his death.
Wait, how many wives did Hercules have?
Well, he had his first wife that he brutally murdered. Actually, it was the second wife. That was Megara. Megara was the second wife that he brutally murdered, being cursed by Hera. Then there's debate about if he fucked and married his male cousin, but that's besides the point. And then his final mortal wife was Deianira, who was the leader after her father's death of Achalia. But when she thought that he was going to cheat on her, she decides to poison his shirt. And if we all know Heracles, he never wears a shirt. And he's just like, oh, well, I guess I put on this shirt and, I feel poisoned. And then they set his body on fire. His dad is just like, well, hello, son. How do you like to be a god? Hera's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Hera, you go back to your room. No one wants your clammy puss. Now, son, you want to be a god? Well, I don't know, Dad. I kind of miss having a penis. Oh, don't worry, son. You'll have a penis again. Here's your new, eternally young, hot wife. Matter of fact, can I fuck your wife real quick? No, Dad, you cannot fuck my wife.
Sorry about that.
And thus, Heracles became a god to then have Hebe as his immortal wife afterwards. All because Deianira was just like, if my husband and his shirtless, tiny nippleless body would end up leaving me, I must kill him by
Who the hell is Heracles?
Hercules.
Well, which is it, Hercules or Heracles?
Both.
Oh god, don't even start.
And where is Megara?
Megara is dead.
And the second wife, apparently.
Well, she is the second wife. He had a first wife before Meg. But that was...
Now, how come they didn't put that in Disney?
No one wants to talk about
There's
the
no
first
divorce
one.
in Disney.
There's only
but
there's
instead
only
of
parent
Meg, they could
murder.
have had the first wife that they mentioned so much.
Meg is also not human. She's created by Hades.
That's only in the Disney version.
She wasn't even created, but she was like a mortal before she sold her soul for love. If you want to call it love, I don't know.
Also Disney version.
Oh, but the dick game is so strong. I want to stay with him.
And then he runs off to some younger version.
Right.
How dare he?
And then afterwards, Hera is just like, oh, you want to be happy, Herc? That's nice. Madness. I killed my family.
God of War, basically. I like how Hera takes out all of her rage and anger on Hercules. And not her husband or the woman that her husband cheated on her with.
There actually is one story where Hera got revenge on Zeus. It does not end well, though.
I imagine not. Nothing does when it comes to Zeus.
Because it's just like, you will pay for cheating on me!
Oh, by the way, have either of you seen American Gods?
Yes, I love that show. I idolize that
I have
show.
not.
It is incredible. I want the novel. I want the sequel novel. I want to live in that world. I want to be a Nancy. I love it.
I want to see that show so badly. Because
amazing.
I like they do a lot of history in it. Like
yes.
Backgrounds of the gods, like backgrounds you didn't realize.
Oh,
kind of like God of War did when they were looking at the Viking lore in the game. And Odin, so
Mr. Wednesday.
yes, in the history of paganism or religions and things like that, there's the Druids are like one of the first because they were the closest to the
To nature.
first written history, right?
Yeah, to nature. Because nature
And then the
holds
Celtics,
the world's
which
history.
the Druids were actually part of the Celtic, or precursors to the Celtic.
Yeah, they are the precursors.
And then the Vikings. So they're one of the very first like pagan religions, even precursing Roman and Greek mythology, right?
Yeah. Well,
So
if
every
you
religion.
well, it's kind of weird. If you count India as paganism, even though it's an organized religion, then that's the world's oldest mythology. But
In that region, in that region.
yeah,
of the world.
in that region, it would be Norse. But overall, if people count Hinduism as paganism, then that's the oldest mythology.
Which it is pagan. There's multiple gods, and there are demigods, and there are sub-gods, and blah, blah. So it's a pagan religion, right? Because that's what I'm sorry, not pagan. Let me restate that. Polytheistic. How about that? Is that a better word?
I don't know. It's weird. For Buddhism, it's like there's only one absolute Buddha, and then everyone else is selected by Buddha himself as like saints or servants to him. So it's not really a polytheism.
They're not like really servants. They're more. It's all about getting to Zen,
Yeah.
right, and finding that nirvana. That's what Buddhism is. So that I don't believe would be polytheistic or even pagan. I believe that to be.
And then with Hinduism, it's like, do you count it as a religion or with polytheistic? It's weird.
I do because
It's a mystery.
No, I do. I count it as a religion because if you're going to count Jesus Christ as a prophet and Jewish faith,
Judeo-Christian, yeah.
or as a savior in Christianity, if you're going to count that story, then you have to count India's belief in Hinduism because of Krishna. If you look at their stories, they are almost identical.
Yeah, except their main god is set to kill us all, but we'll get to that later. But
So is ours. So is Christianity's.
oh no, that's the Destroyer. He's an angel that's set to kill us all, but that's another story.
No, that's the rapture. See, now we got to get into Revelations, B.
We have no time for Revelations. We're talking
We
about
have
American
all
gods,
the
sir.
time. You
Oh,
make
no,
no
boy.
sense. I am your yang to your. I am the yang to your yin.
I love you,
Totally
Aaron.
fumbled that.
I love you, Aaron. I hope you know that.
Just so you know, V, I'm gonna die someday.
Yeah, we're all.
I hate to
gonna
break the
die
news, but I
someday.
think we're all gonna die eventually.
Shit, really?
Yeah,
Don't
man.
do this.
Wow.
But to
That was a
American
really good
gods,
second.
though. Now, Aaron, I know.
American gods.
Now, Aaron, I know you're probably gonna hear me gush about this soon on my channel because I love American Gods. But the key episode that got me was episode 2, when Anansi the Spider was introduced.
Really?
Like having a Ghanan god of storytelling, trickery, and weaving being put into a story about slaves going to America and those slaves setting fire to the boat because a god told them the future of black people.
Let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a man got fucked. That's the story of black people in America.
And then goes over how they kidnap black people and then bring even more black people to fuck and make more black kids to pick what? Cotton? And then going over all the stuff black people go through the day about getting fucked out of jobs and shot at by police. It's like, god damn! This man is trying to incite a riot, and he does.
That's exactly what that is, because he left out a lot of fucking history.
But he also
Anyways,
left in the anger.
Before we go any further, Britt, have you seen American Gods or know anything about it?
Nope. This is the first time I ever heard about it.
Let's set it up. It's a show on Stars.
It is on Stars, based off a novel by Neil Gaiman, the gothic master of everything comic book and novelized stories.
Is it? It's Gaiman? I thought it was Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. He made this story about how all the old gods want to be recognized again in a world where new gods are taking over, like we have.
Okay, but the way they do it is different than what you're thinking. So the old gods represent, like, Egyptian gods. Odin is Mr. Wednesday. Like the old gods, the old
pantheon,
polytheistic gods of the old worlds.
Yes.
Egypt, Hindu, Viking, Greek, Roman, blah, 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 blah.
And then the new gods. We have weirdos like they call him Techno Boy, but I call him Binary because it makes more sense, because what is technology without binary? Then we also have media, which is literally everything entertainment-wise. And the biggest one of them all is Mr. World. He's the man behind the man, behind the man, behind the man that shapes all of what happens across the globe.
So basically, the old gods are what our ancestors used to believe in, and the new gods are what we believe in today.
Correct.
In society. Not like God, but like as a societal social structure. Entertainment. News.
And in the middle of all this stuff is a main character named Shadow Moon. Who is dragged into this because his wife is killed while he's a day away from being released from prison, but he finds at the funeral that his wife died in a car accident sucking off his best friend.
Ouch. See, now I haven't seen any of the show. I've only seen trailers, but I so badly want to see it.
Like, I'm not spoiling anything besides just the funeral bits. There's stuff in the middle and at the end that shows a lot more, but that's Shadow. He's like, I need to go see my wife. Goes to the funeral. He talks to the wife of the other person that was killed in the car accident, just like, wait, what happened? Shadow, your wife had my husband's cock in her mouth.
I hate to break it to you this way. that would suck.
But
no
for a premise for a book or a show for that matter, I find that highly interesting.
It was incredible. And
The
season
old gods
2
versus the
is
gods.
so good.
Well, Shadow Moon has powers, didn't you know?
He does, and it's a lot more complicated as to how he has powers, but I'm not spoiling that because I'm trying to get into the novel, which gives away so much more. I'm so excited. I am brimming with joy.
I'm just trying to find a place to watch this shit. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm pretty sure if you get Sling TV, the app, like it's only like $90 a month to just have every network that you want, where Stars is included in the package if you want to. You can literally watch it on your phone, your tablet, your TV. It's not for console, but it is a good enough service. So if you guys want to watch actual TV stuff without paying for cable, I suggest Sling TV. Just $90 a month or more if you want to get stuff of the premium variety of Showtime and other sort of networks like that. You can get more bang for your buck and just literally pay at least $90 extra for your internet to then also watch cable TV on your mobile devices.
See, and I've got Hulu right now. So, and the only reason I have Hulu is we recently switched to a different cell phone company, and that came with the package. But it's just Hulu Basic. It's not like premium. I have the option to get Stars on Hulu. I'm just afraid to. Because right now my subscription through Hulu is free. Well, included in my phone package. Can't say it's free. But I have to look up to see how much it is on Hulu. because they do it kind of like, remember Verve, where you can get the base package and you can get all these shows and you can get ads and stuff with it, but you have the choice of adding channels after that. That's kind of what Hulu's done.
Oh my, are we doing a self-plug of products that we don't have partnerships for?
Again, yeah,
Sounds
but
like.
I'm going to have to downgrade Verve's standing with myself because they got rid of Funimation.
Oh,
They did.
Well, that's because they're trying to cut ties from Crunchyroll because fuck all reasons.
No, Crunchyroll created Verve.
It's because of Vic.
Oh, no, Funimation's trying to cut ties with Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Okay. It still pissed me off. Because Funimation had all the fucking dubbed episodes of My Hero Academia, and Verve does not. Crunchyroll does not have that. Sorry.
It's just so dumb.
It is. It's all about money. That's all it ever is about.
Well, that, and they're trying to now shift the blame from, oh yeah, we're doing this stuff because the Vic Mignogna situation that happened. Yeah, that's the reason. You guys could buy that, right?
I don't know what that is.
Britt, you want to feel that one?
About what's going on with Vic and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make a long story short. He did stuff, not good stuff. Apparently, it's not even that bad, really. Well, there's accusations.
With whom or what?
So the voice of Edward Elric / Broly / I don't know what else he was.
I don't remember either.
He has been accused in the Me Too movement of touching people inappropriately with hugs.
So wait. They Louis C.K'd him?
Well,
They basically accused
him
him
masturbate
of-
in front of them, but
Yeah, what I'm saying is
No.
Louis C.K. didn't break any laws. He's not in jail. He didn't get fined. He's not charged
Kind
with
of.
anything.
like he's being accused of touching people inappropriately over hugs.
Like Joe Biden.
Basically.
Yeah.
And the voice actor of Bulma, I believe, was one of the few that a lot of the other voice actors started the whole riot. They all were talking crap about Vic and saying that, oh, he really did this and that.
So what you're saying to
Like-
me is he could have been a highly empathetic person. You know how there are empaths out there who they feel a lot more than what normal human beings feel. They just
like
have an
Phoenix.
emotion. Well, like Zayden. I was going to say like Zayden.
No, our brother Phoenix.
Oh, okay. But the way they express that is through emotional outlets, right? It's through hugging, or through a kiss on the cheek, or through telling you I love you 10 million times a day. Literally. And the way he showed this, other people felt was inappropriate, but instead of telling him that they didn't like it, they decided to put him on blast.
Yeah.
Yep, basically.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, this is not really important, guys, because we're about to face a lot of stuff thanks to, things we won't mention because we're not political here.
Oh, yes, we are. At least I am.
Well, I try to be neutral because I am a social anarchist.
That's a political stance, V. You can't say that.
We don't get paid enough. Clancy said so.
I'm kidding.
Stop
Anyway.
talking about Clancy!
Anyways.
You brought him up.
No, the reason I brought the whole Louis C.K. thing up is because apparently there's a whole lot more to that story than just what we've heard.
Is there?
Yes, this is a weird fetish that he had, but also this isn't something that like these people were uncomfortable with. This was something that happened over 10 years ago. And this was with people, so it's not like he had power over anybody. Not only that, this was also involving, like, there were flirtations. This wasn't like a one-sided deal where he just walked out in the hallway drunk and was like, dude, can I masturbate in front of you? That's not what this was.
I'd be like, go home, Louis, you're drunk.
But I think Louis is waiting to kind of let the chips fall,
Where they may, yeah.
as they say, before he comes out and addresses it himself, because of the heat of the moment. You know, as you've noticed, the Me Too movement is kind of it's done the whole peak thing, and now it's coming back down I mean, take a look at the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing. I mean,
Oh,
Johnny Depp
boy.
is now suing her for $50 million for defamation. And not only that, he has like evidence that she was the abusive party, not him.
I mean, it did cost him his jobs with Disney because he's no longer in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. He's no longer in the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
Oh no, he is. J.K. Rowling actually backed him. J.K. Rowling actually fought for him to remain.
Oh, sweet. And I don't know if Tim would be able to pull anything with Disney for like any of his upcoming stuff for Johnny, even though Johnny's like his the godfather of like his kids, I think.
Yep. Yeah, those two are close.
So I don't know how the whole pull will be. Like, this is one of the things that's kind of bothered me about the Me Too movement. As a proponent of equality, everyone should have rights to do whatever. But at the same time, now that I'm getting older, I'm just like, you ladies do realize that for the equality that you're striving for, that means all bets are off the table. You guys will be treated as if we're all one singular being, which means everyone on the table will be catching hands, and no one would raise a finger about where you stand if you have a vagina or a dick.
Well, I was so I'm all for equality. You want to be equal, you're equal in my eyes. I don't care, right? As long as I am treated, and this goes with respect to the law and with respect to public information, as long as I am treated as equally as you would be, would the same situation arise. So, that being said, if I were to go out and punch a woman in the face as a man, currently,
Yes.
under the justice system, I would probably be more likely to get a harsher sentence than if a woman walked up to me and outright punched me and got charged with assault.
Correct. Where it's
Yep.
currently standing.
So if we got rid of that, if I walk up to a woman and punch her in the face, get charged with assault, go to jail for 40 days, whatever it is, I don't know. I'm perfectly okay with that happening to me, as long as if a woman walks up to me, punches me in the face, and gets charged with the same thing happens to her. Right?
Yeah, but I'm also thinking to myself, there are a lot of squishy people that they're going to be like, I want our old rights back. I don't want this.
You're right. And I also agree with the argument that a lot of, because as you recently know, which I didn't know growing up, I only recently found out, well, not recently, like 10, 15 years ago, found out women were not allowed to serve in active combat duty in the Army or military.
Oh, that's true. Well, in America.
Right, in America. In other
I
countries,
can't really do anything else because my grandma did serve with the KGB.
Well, and women were allowed to serve in Russia in World War II. Fuck, there was a woman that had a whole tank brigade, and she wasn't even a fucking registered military. Her husband died one day, and she got pissed off and up and stole a tank and started fighting the fucking Nazis.
That was a fun day in history class.
Pretty Russian thing to do, but whatever. Anyways,
It was a fun day in history class. I'm not gonna lie.
But the Marine standpoint, and this is from a current perspective in the American Army system, the Marines, because up until 2015 or 2016, there were no female Marines allowed to serve in active duty in combat at all, period.
Yeah.
Their argument was, and this is the other Marines, not the females Marines, was as long as they can pass the same set of standards that I have to pass as a man for the Marine, which is if you can carry a 200-pound plus male person being up a hill 200 yards, you pass. If you can run a mile in so many minutes that I have to run, then pass. Because the set of standards for females in the military is different than the set of standards for males. And that's what the females were trying to fight to change, was the set of standards. They wanted them to be equal. They wanted to be able to do the things that the men were doing. They wanted to be able to serve in the capacities that men were serving. And the Marines were saying, that's fine and dandy. You can do that so long as you change the standards, because the standards are actually different. So let's say in the Marines, the men have to run an 8-minute mile. The women would have to run a 10-minute mile. as opposed to an 8-minute mile in order to qualify. So that was the argument that they were putting forth in this whole.
You know what? I would fight with them on that, because I had to do an 8-minute mile when I was trying to actually.
I'm not using actual numbers. I don't know if those were the numbers.
It's
I'm just
kind of like
I'm
when
throwing out the stand.
Like when I was. I can't believe anyone would believe me as a Marine, knowing who I am. When I was trying to do stuff with the Marines, it was literally an 8-minute thing, as well as proving to people I could do at least 5 pull-ups in front of 2 active units. Where for ladies, it was 10 minutes and 10 pull-ups.
Right, the standard is different, which is what the current Marines were arguing, and as well as the female groups. The females were saying, yeah, let me. If I could do an 8-minute mile and do this, then I want to serve. That's what. I'm not trying to divide it. I'm trying to say that they're both arguing the same argument, but they have differing points of views on it. Like, the male Marines don't think that the women could do it. That's why they want this thrown out. But the government isn't willing to say, well, but if we do this, then they're going to say inequality. You're not allowing me to do something that I'm physically capable of doing. But that's what the whole basic training and the Marine Death Week, or Kill Week, is meant to do, is to test your peak physical standard of what a Marine should be in the U.S. military.
Not to mention try to break you to become a different mold for what the American Army facilities want you to be, because they would hate me if I actually did pass everything.
So I've known several people who've gone into the military, and only only two that I have met have come out similar to the person they were before they went. And the reason I say that is because when you go in and join the military, they literally brainwash you. And it's a terrible word, but that's what they do. They literally mentally break you down so that there is nothing left but a warrior. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I said they would have hated me.
That is the job that you signed up for. You are literally signing up to become a warrior. You are
a
today's
dog of the
modern
military.
Yes. So they literally have to rewire everything that you've learned up until that point. So as a job standpoint, from an employer's standpoint, they're doing what they need to do to get you to be ready for what you're going to do.
True, but on a realistic point, Aaron, you know me as I am now. Do you see that working for me in any capacity?
Oh, no, you'd fail.
At least we're honest here. I would be kicked out.
Then again, V, I was in the apprenticeship with someone who literally stole his grandmother's Jaguar, wrecked it, snuck it home, and hid it in his grandmother's garage for a month before she ever found out that it was fucking wrecked, because she didn't drive that often. Mm-hmm. Until the cops came to pick him up because they found the registered owner's address, and she pointed them to him. Okay, this was him before the Marines. After the Marines, he is now an upstanding citizen who has black and white for morals. All right?
That still would not be me.
That is fucking scary. I got to see the before and after. I've seen it several times. Like I said, I've only met 2 people that have come back from active duty who are still semi-similar to what they were before.
Yeah, I still can't see that. I don't know what it is, but even when they're trying to get me to do the ASVAB thing, they were pissed off because I would be questioning the medical examiner, and I would be talking with my hands because I'm expressive, and they're like, you gotta stop doing that. I'm like, when the fuck am I gonna stop doing that, son? You gonna want to catch them? Because I fight people in the military myself.
I'm just saying that's how efficient that I've noticed that they are very good at doing what they need to do to get you to be where you need to be when you leave. The only thing that they can't train you for is the whole when your buddy gets shot in the head right next to you because some asshole across the way was firing an AK-47.
Oh, no, that PTSD stuff they never prepare you for. Whether it's for military stuff or for things that no one should ever do in their lives.
That's okay, V. I heard an argument the other day that, and believe it or not, it came from a very famous political speaker, that guns weren't created to kill.
they weren't. They were made for self-defense like all weapons.
No, they weren't. They were created to literally kill more efficiently. Specifically animals, still to kill.
Yeah, but that's for harvesting / hunting. That's for survival
Doesn't
purposes.
fucking matter. They were designed to kill. Period.
Yeah, so are knives and all the assortment of swords that we have today.
More efficiently. Correct. Still does not detract from the fact that they were designed to kill something more efficiently. And this famous political speaker said, they weren't designed to kill, they were designed to defend yourself. No, you fucking moron. They were designed to kill more efficiently. Whether it was a rabbit, a deer, or a person, they were designed to kill.
Well, the whole person thing was...
This was the whole point and click method back in the 1800s. Okay?
Well, yeah, but that whole kill a person thing was after one person was like, hey, you know what? These weapon things work so well on animals. I wonder if they work well on you, Dave.
Exactly.
Shit.
Exactly.
Dave, are you okay?
Exactly.
Oh, hey, that was fun.
And it makes it even harder to argue when the first use of these weapons was used in military, not hunting. So the argument is even more invalid. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring that up for absolutely no reason at all.
Wait, you mean like how we bring up everything else today?
But we're not political.
Well, we're not allowed to. We don't have the funding. Or the backers.
I didn't say which side of the fence I was on. I just said guns were designed to kill more efficiently.
Again, we don't have the budget to do that right now. Like, if we were sponsored by fucking Subway or Taco Bell, then maybe.
Holy shit! Jenny's playing Fallout Shelter, and she has a kitten and is dressed in fucking power armor with a sniper rifle.
How the fuck? You know what? I don't even know. But I hope you guys enjoyed the whole randomness, because we're saving us going back to a more formatted thing for next time.
Oh, are we gonna do the topic, V?
Oh, no, topic is next time.
No. I mean, from last night, the one that I said should be our topic.
That's gonna be for next time.
Dude, what? I did throw that at him. What was the topic again?
The topic was actually about how... Well, you were
Sora.
playing Kingdom Hearts...
That's right. I went off.
At least someone's on topic.
I went on the Punisher. Was it the Punisher or was it fucking Wolverine? I can't
You're
remember.
talking about how you had an epiphany like the
Wolverine.
Flash is the smartest and the dumbest hero. And then we're comparing it to how Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, Kairi, and all of them are kind of like the,
Oh, no. No, I'll have to go back and watch it now. Because it was awesome last night.
We're going to go back on that stream, find out the exact thing that we were talking about. And then next week, you guys are going to be getting that topic.
No, because they were talking about Roxas being part of Sora's heart. And I was like, so wait, Roxas is Sora, right? Because he's in Roxas's heart. And then I went on something about fucking, who else was like that? What did I say, Jenny? Do you remember? No, of course she doesn't remember. Huh? Oh, we got the death look. Shit. Yep, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. It was good. It was good though.
It's gonna be a topic for next week, along with a new segment of the Brit Hour. So Britt, it's your time to shine, where Britt the educator will rejoin the battle.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been here the entire time. It's just
No, you're just
no
Brittopia right now. You're not Britt the educator. You're Brittopia
Yeah.
right now.
I don't teach things.
Britt the
No?
educator comes
Do you learn-
I
next
teach
week.
you what not to do
Do you learn
by
things?
demonstrating the very thing that I am doing. Yeah, if that makes any sense.
Wait, do you do a lot of bad things?
Possibly.
I mean, she
But we don't talk
porn
about
for
wait.
a living.
Wait.
But we don't talk
porn
about
for a
Wait.
living.
Would they be bad things or would they be naughty things?
Well, she draws porn for a living, so
I do. People really like the titties and the other stuff. I'm okay with it.
Oh man, you know what's funny
It keeps the lights
is
Yeah, it does.
I have a 14-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 9-year-old, right?
on. Right.
Well, the 14-year-old comes home from high school and he says all these words. I recognize some of them. Some of them I actually have to like look up on Urban Dictionary. And
Lord.
one of my things, and we have told our kids this all throughout their lives, you know, if you don't know the meaning of a word, you probably shouldn't be saying it, right?
Yeah.
The reason for that is because I think one of our boys came home one day and was saying that's gay, you know, and I'm like, well, what do you think gay means? Well, gay means happy, and you know, I don't know if that was the word, but it was something similar to that situation. And you know, you have to explain the whole thing behind it and this and that, why it is, you know, you can't just use that and throw that out there as that like that's a bad thing. Well, my 14-year-old comes home and he starts saying skeet.
Skeet, 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 skeet.
And
Wow.
he says it
That's actually from a
probably
song?
what, like 10 times. 10 times. Before I'm like, hey, Christian, buddy, do you remember when I told you that if you didn't know the meaning of a word, you probably shouldn't be saying it? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you know what skeet skeet means? And he's like, no, why? What does it mean? I'm like, okay, you're going to love this.
Skeet,
You'll
skeet,
love
skeet,
it.
skeet.
So basically, skeet skeet means to ejaculate. And his face went from this smile to this like melting dread, fear, like that's what that means. I'm like, look it up. It's fucking Lil Jon, man.
Skeet, 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 skeet.
So he came home the other day and was saying yeet. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't exactly know what yeet, but it's a little less. It was much more harmless than skeet skeet, obviously.
It means to throw with passion.
Yes. So I told him this, and I was at
Basically, it means like to chuck.
right. I was at work
Far.
the other day, and I saw this little like it's like Spider-Man teaching the Avengers the modern language. And he taught Thor yeet. So every time Thor throws his hammer, he says yeet.
Yeet. Mason, no! Yeet.
He taught Steve. I forgot what he taught Steve, but it meant I feel the same, and it was something that made absolutely no sense to say. It's just, I'm sorry, it was just funny. Trying to keep up with the words of the day.
Well,
Because I know they'll be in the dictionary in at least a decade.
I mean, if twerking and selfie can get in the dictionary, you know what other word I expect to be in the dictionary someday?
If YOLO can get in the dictionary, I expect anything to get in the dictionary.
But do you expect what I think will be in the dictionary next?
What?
It will be...
Got money on my mind every day. Please don't play with mine, put it in the bag. Usually I can leave it in the past. You gon' make me have to show my ass. Ooh, I can love you till the sun comes.